What's going on, people? Welcome to Ears to the Street, where fact and entertainment meet. I am your host, HG, and we got my co-host in the building, Off Grid on Code, and we back at y'all mother co-host in the building, Off Grid. There you go. You hear. What's going on, Off Grid?
Oh man, just soaking in all the different events that's been going on.
No doubt, no doubt. Now we gonna flip it up a little bit today, not totally, but we gonna flip it up a little bit today and discuss, more current events. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Still the on code perspective, but I guess we gonna scratch the surface a little bit with these current topics a little bit. Well, we gonna go in deep for them. You know what I'm saying? So we got a first video coming up. First off, I gotta put everybody up on game. I don't know if y'all can see that. You know what I'm saying? I had to pick that real faint print on y'all, but the Ears to the Street shirts is definitely back on deck. Make sure y'all support. You know what I'm saying? Hit the Cash App. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you leave your size. We doing the t-shirts for $35. We doing the hoodies and everything. The hoodies, sweatshirts for $45. Make sure y'all support. But with the topic, we going in on our first video. We'll just be going over a few different videos and just breaking it down for the people. So with this first particular video that we got some racist white guy. You know what I'm saying? Some racist white guy, and we got a black guy recording him accepting racial slurs. You know what I'm saying? So I guess we'll watch the video and then we'll chime in after the fact. All right, here we go. Let's get it popping. So, all right.
Speech, you stupid monkey.
Come on, hey, say it again. Say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
Go ahead, get out, you fucking dumb nigger.
I'm fucking what?
Are you a dumb nigger? Go ahead, park. You want to fuck around with a white man? You run over my dog, I will show
Ain't nobody running over nothing.
Black Lives Matter.
Hey, welcome to Facebook.
You think I give a fuck, nigger?
Hey, what's up, though?
Monkey.
Off. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
All right, my bad. Yeah, so talk to me, all grid. What? Just break it down for me. What is your perspective on this particular video? Just break it down for the people. Let them know. You know what I'm saying? How Off Grid coming with it.
Man, I mean, when I first seen that video and the dude throwing the racial slurs, it don't take long for you to get the feeling that this is gonna be like a few of the other ones you see where black people, they get called that N-word and they keep the conversation going, and the person that's throwing the racial slurs out there, they increase it. And the person that's
My bad. Go
the
ahead.
echo wrong. Yeah.
My bad. Go ahead.
And if the white person increases it, they increase the slurs, and then in the end, it always results in some I'm going to put you on social media, or hey y'all look at this person, and I just don't. I'm trying to picture because we always talk about ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to picture the ancestors in the field getting whipped and turning to the next one over in the lane picking cotton and saying, you see this, you see what he's doing to me? It's like, I just don't get it, man. I don't get it. And it's clear that the white man on there, he wanted that smoke. Anytime,
Yeah.
I mean, calling calling you a nigga is enough, but when they throw that monkey up in there, that's him saying like, bring it on, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Bring it on. And the
Yeah.
brother, his only recourse was welcome to Facebook. I mean,
Mm,
Mark
mm, mm,
Zuckerberg throw
mm, mm.
motherfuckers in jail, throw more black people in jail than anybody. So it's like, what do you mean, welcome to Facebook? But that shows how we wanted to rely on some type of social media or some type of social setting in order to, ostracize this person right here. You don't want to handle it yourself. Despicable, man. That dude, that brother there, I would be ashamed to be if he was my son. If I was his father, I'd be ashamed he's my son. I wouldn't want him as a brother, homeboy, nothing, uncle, nothing.
Just like totally disassociate yourself from him, every
Disassociate.
shape, form, or fashion. And you said something, that a lot of people might not be aware of, and I'm not even fully 100% like engulfed in it, but I've heard certain things about Mark Zuckerberg. You said in reference to Mark Zuckerberg getting a lot of brothers locked up, right?
Yeah,
And that's
yeah,
crazy. Like, we all on Facebook. I got like 3 accounts. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got a Facebook account, and this is someone, we use the app, it is what it is, but this dude is locking black people up, and I've heard him be in communication with law, like high up law officials, and like he's like one of the puppet masters, if you want to say, what I'm saying, for lack of a better word, one of the puppet masters of, like getting certain laws. I don't know if laws pass, but working with the justice system in a sense, and guiding the judicial system in some degree to where he has some influence there.
right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
yeah.
It's like that's fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then this is a white guy. I don't know if he's racist or not, but you know what I'm saying? Like, could you expound on it in any type of way?
And that's another thing too. I think looking at the video, I don't think we can just chalk it up as cut and dry. Yeah, the white dude racist. We don't know what happened before the camera started. We just see
Mm-hmm.
what's going on. At some point, it cut on. So
Mm-hmm.
it could have been arguing going on because, in my experience, not personally, but in my experience of hearing and seeing some things, usually sometimes people like that white dude, they get worked up into they get more bolder into using the N word. I mean, he
Mm-hmm.
I guess they got to be super comfortable. If they come off the rip with that, that's something different. But sometimes it gets worked up into it. So we don't know what all happened. We don't know if the dude is racist, on the onset from it. But we do know that the brother is passive. We do know that. We know he's a submissive because that was enough to either exit that truck or, I mean, do something, try to spit on him. I mean, show some type of way where you resist other than relying upon Mark Zuckerberg seeing this and going viral and people calling about to see where the dude works at and getting him fired or, you know, his job in
Mm-hmm.
jeopardy or whatever the dude, want to make happen. But yeah, it's a
Yeah.
shame watching that video, man.
So as so he was scared.
You hear it in his voice. I think you hear a nervous chuckle in there. You might have to play it again because there's a
Yeah,
nervous
yeah. Let's
chuckle
run
when
it.
he
Let's
like,
run it.
yeah,
Yeah,
run
we
it.
gonna run it. Let's run it. Let's run it. Let's run it. Let's run it. It's
I do
crazy.
remember hearing a nervous chuckle. It made me feel uncomfortable. Like man, no sound, no sound, there's no sound, no sound, no sound, no sound, no sound. There was no sound.
It still ain't no sound off grid.
Now it is, but there was no sound to the video.
All right, let me pull it back up. I guess every time share the sound. It's crazy. All right, be patient with us, people. All right, here we go.
Speech, you stupid monkey.
Come on, hey, say it again. Say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
Go ahead, get out, you fucking dumb nigga.
I'm fucking what?
Are you a dumb nigger? Go ahead and park. You want to fuck around with a white man? You run over my dog, I will show
Ain't nobody running over nothing.
Black Lives Matter.
Hey, welcome to Facebook.
You think I give a fuck, nigga?
Hey, what's up, though?
Monkey.
The sound's good on that one, right?
Yeah, man. That's the nervous chocolate.
What's crazy too, like we talked, and I thought that was a weapon in his hand, but that was actually a fetch toy for the dog.
Dog.
You know what I'm saying? So
I'm used as a weapon.
I mean, I don't think it would have did much damage. It's plastic, but I mean, who knows? You know what I'm saying? You can use plastic in some deadly ways.
Oh,
But yeah, but I mean, like, just like kind of realistically, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not nothing to deter a physical altercation based off the verbal disrespect that was shown. You see what I'm saying? Like, if someone if this situation happened, me personally, and I seen someone with a fetch toy, that wouldn't deter me from saying like, oh, he got a fetch toy, I ain't gonna do nothing to him. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, you got me. You know what I'm saying? I'm shaking in my boots over here. You got a fetch toy. You know what I'm saying? The dog is, and that's what made me think knew it was a fetch toy after I watched it again, is because the dog, during the whole conversation, is moving with the thing in his hand. So I'm like, why is the dog, moving? Because he waiting for him to throw the ball. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
I believe some of the comments on there. I'm gonna have to go back if I'm able to, because I don't even remember I should be able to go back to the original where I shared it from and read the comments. I think when I did read the comments, it was that same. I mean, I had to click off of it because it's that same. Oh yeah, they always. It was nothing as to where like why he didn't do this, why he didn't do that. They were all in agreement, like yeah, they're like that, and it shows you. It's an overwhelming majority of black people that will respond that way. They'll respond that way. It's the same type of mentality as the cop beating somebody's ass and somebody else saying, I got his badge number. What's your badge number? I mean, the cop over here whooping the motherfucker ass, and you talking about you got it all on film. You got his badge number. Come on, man.
Right. Now, let's talk higher road. You know what I'm saying? Okay, we have a racist white guy. This guy probably was doing his job, or maybe just in the area. I'm just looking at the scenery. Seems like a nice area. The guy had a walk-in, either driveway of some sort. Seems like a pretty, what I'm saying, maybe a higher end neighborhood. The black guy could live in that neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? You never know. But, did he just take the higher road? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, we got this ignorant white dude. He's being disrespectful. Yes, he is insulting me. But as a mature black man, even though, he chose to record it, you know what I'm saying? To get some type of video documentation of it. But is it just one of those situations where, look, I don't really got time for this. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to videotape you and show how ignorant you are, but I won't engage in any type of physical activity because it's not really worth it. Can we look at it from that perspective?
Yeah, I think it can be looked at from that perspective. It can be looked at it from one that's even more, I guess, I'm trying to find a word, weaker. It could be another weaker way to look at it. From that. Like, it's I mean, but I think the fact remains is that he didn't expect it. I don't think the brother in the truck. I don't think he expected that. I think
Mm-hmm.
when the dude started out with the nigger, I think he was like, oh, I'm in one of these situations,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes we gotta. I think something when you're looking at something like that, it's good. We wasn't there. We only know what happened once the camera was cut on. But I think it's good to to look at that video and mentally standing back of that white man, standing back of that brother, standing on the side, looking at both of them. Like put yourself in there and try to look at the different angles. That brother could be in his 20s as to where he's never faced something like that. He hear this nigga music. He hear that shit.
Mm-hmm.
He's online. He hear these fake woke black people. He sees militants and everything. And once it finally happened to him,
Mm-hmm.
he might not have known that might have been his first time ever being called a nigga to his face. And we gotta make that clear. The white man called him a nigger, not just a nigger, but called him a monkey nigger to his face. Yeah, there was a door
Mm-hmm.
in between them and all that, but there was air there. There was air. There was no barrier separating them. There was no barrier separating them. And that brother, that might have been his first time engaging in that type of disputation with a white man, and he wasn't built for it. You heard the nervous chuckle
Mm-hmm.
in his voice. And I believe somebody even said on one of the comments as to where I wonder how he would have reacted if it had been a black dude out there and they got into it. He probably would have climbed through the
Mm.
window swinging, truck still rolling.
Right. Yeah. Hey, that's a great point you bring up because just things show us occurrences happen where we always see black people going in on black people 30 times harder than they will go
Yeah,
in on another race that shows the same amount or even more disrespect. And
yeah,
this
yeah.
is this is disrespect to the 10th power so far as verbally. You know what I'm saying?
Disrespect,
Mm,
and if anybody holds the type of mentality as to where, well, yeah, he took the higher road. I mean, that I won't argue with them to say they're wrong for thinking that, or he was wrong for doing what he was doing. I know me personally, I wouldn't have. I know everyone says that, but I can assure you, I had a situation. The last white dude that called me the N word was in
mm,
to my face was in '92. I was 19, and he ended up with 2 bullets in him. And I ended up in
oh,
prison
okay.
for 18 years. So I proved
Mm,
my case on that. If you call me N word, is more than likely it's going down. And in
yeah.
cases like him right there, that's a freebie. Like he had a freebie to get out there and whoop that dude. I mean, so you want to show the people that he's racist. So why didn't you go ahead and duke it out with him and then let the people judge? Who was wrong, the racist or the dude defending himself against the racist? It's like he didn't want that. He didn't want, that brother needs to be tracked down. He needs to be interviewed because I would love to see his Facebook page to see if he has any Black Lives Matter paraphernalia up, what type of music he listened to. He might even rap. He probably kill 1,000 niggas in his raps, but the white man called him a monkey nigger, and he ready to press on the gas pedal and get back to work.
Mm. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. You know,
Man,
but let's talk about it being 2023, and we basically heard racist slurs that you would hear, in the 1920s and 1850s and 17s, whatever's. You know what I'm saying? Like, what does that say about where we are as a society? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it we have our people in the past who fought for the freedoms that we have now. We know, even though it's still happening, is not a
right,
frequent thing. It's more rarely, with the lynchings and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? We had our people who did what they were supposed to do in that particular time era, and catapulted us, in America to where, okay, we can walk down the street. We're not necessarily going to be lynched and stuff like that.
right.
Um, but are we that far from those eras and those times when just based off this video? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I remember having a conversation with it. You'll be surprised. I believe if you take an 80-year-old black man, 70-year-old black man, 60, 50, 40, 30, all the way down to 20, and you talk about the different things that happen, you'd be surprised at the ideologies in each of those. And I believe it's going to be like a missing link where it's like human and monkey. You know what I mean? In between one of them ages, and it's probably around with today's time. I would say maybe around the 20, 30-year-old. That's where that missing link monkey may come in at, because just the idea of what racism is, what it represents, being called N-word, the eras and the ages and the times, they see it different. I remember a young black dude telling me one time, he said, man, if Lincoln, he said, luckily, if Lincoln had freed us, we would still be slaves. And I said, where did you learn that from? He said, in school. Yeah, I learned in school that if Lincoln hadn't freed us, we would still be slaves. And then you have that older mentality where some older people say that they're glad that the colonizers went to Africa and got us, because we would grow up over there in famine and have AIDS. I've heard that before. You know, they said, some people say, thank God the white man came over there, because you would be one of those fat belly kids running around there with flies floating, you know, around you and having AIDS. And I'm thinking, like, you really believe that?
Right.
They say, yeah. They say, yeah. It sounds crazy, but some people.
That's the stigma. But that's crazy. That's like some stereotype shit in a sense, because we all know there are areas like that in Africa that exist, some real impoverished areas. We understand that, but there's also places and you've been to Kenya, you've been to Africa. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've seen the beauty of African culture and the different. What did you see in Kenya? As a matter of fact, let's go ahead.
The culture. I mean, I know. See, one thing about when you talk about Africa, you either gonna have the black dude or woman that ain't been, and then you have one that been there. And although I didn't live there, I was only there for about a week, short time. But my thing is that I've been over here my whole lifetime. All I know is nigga shit over here. When I got over there, I didn't see not 1 second of nigga shit in Nairobi, Kenya, nor Malindi, nor Mombasa. And I went to another area. I got on a plane in Africa and flew to another area in Kenya, and the coastline. And it was beautiful, man. And just the people. I didn't see what I heard about and what I hear people talk about. I didn't see the negatives of that. I seen all nice things, man. I've seen the shanty towns and different things like that, but even those wasn't like how it is over here. And I walked the streets. I didn't go on a tour neither. I like to state that. Definitely go on a store. I went from landing in Jomo Kenyatta Airport and 10-minute ride in an Uber to the Astra Apartments in Nairobi, Kenya. And we walked the streets there. No tour guide, no nothing. And it was nice.
So that just, in that particular area of Kenya, that kind of just shatters, that second thing you said, depending on the age range, where they would say, it's good that, white people colonized us, or because we'll be some poor, big belly African over there, not being able to take care of ourselves and stuff. So, right. Yeah. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. The certain stigmas that society, has become a part of our perspective due to society, due to fucking training. It's like it's programming in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
Programming, and then we carry it on. Because to this day, I've not one. When I tell white people that I've been over there, you get two type of reactions. You get, oh yeah, and then the other one you get that you one of them niggas. You one of them niggas right there. They have to look at you, and the one that would look at you as a weird, like, oh, you one of them. To me, those will be the woke white people, because naturally they're gonna wonder, like, what did you do? Why are you over there? You had ties over there, like, why are you over there? The average one would be like, oh, you went to Kenya. Oh, that's nice. Kind of like an ignorant nigga. You know what I mean? But
right.
I've only heard the negative things from black people about Kenya who never went. Someone told me to watch out when you get into the taxis. Watch out. They'll rob you and everything. And I'm thinking, like, I'm still tripping off of a $2 Uber ride. Uber was $2.
Right.
$2, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know what they talking about.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I think we probably pretty much hit it on this one. Man, racism is still out here. This guy found himself in a situation where he was having a verbal altercation. Not even a verbal back and forth. He was basically just, the white dude basically checked him in a sense. You know, it's just fucked up. Like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? When you see that type of, when you see that happening, you want to root for it with us being black. You know what I'm saying? You want to root for the black dude. Like, nigga, show us what's going on. Like, but sometimes you find yourself in the situations where you're not prepared to do that. You know what I'm saying? And obviously he must not have been prepared. He probably was fearful. Or it could have been the dangerous weapon that the white guy had, the fetch toy. You know what I'm saying? It's just
or don't forget to start losing his job.
Yeah. If he was working, you know what I'm saying?
I think if that video is investigated enough to track him down, I would be willing to bet more than likely that was a work truck.
That's what I'm kind of thinking, because just based off the area, it looked like a real nice area. And not saying that because I've been to gorgeous, huge homes that probably were predominantly white neighborhoods, but you had your fair share of black people that lived in that neighborhood. Like, I drove somewhere in Georgia, and the guy I used to go to this salon in Georgia and get my hair done, and me and the hairstylist got pretty cool, and she invited me to her birthday party, and her father and her birthday is on the same day. So I won't say where in Georgia, but we drive through Georgia, and I'm talking about these homes were crazy. Like, when I walked up in his house, I was like, whoa, like. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was huge. One of the biggest homes I've probably been in. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe like top 3. You know what I'm saying? Huge home. You know what I'm saying? So I don't ever want to make it seem like black people, don't live in nice areas. You know what I'm saying? But he seemed a little out of place. You know what I'm saying? He seemed a little out of place. And then at the end of the video, he says, like, hey, yo, like, he about to do something, like, check it out. You did you catch that?
I peeped it. I think that was connected to the nervous chuckle and just like in disbelief. You know what I mean?
Right. Bet. All right, so our next video, we're gonna go to, and this is what I was telling you about when the judge sentenced. I don't think he actually says the sentencing part, but I think this was his sentencing. But about Eric Holder, the person who murdered Nipsey Hussle, but let's check it out, and you tell me your view, because you haven't seen this, have you?
No, I haven't seen it.
All right, best. So yeah, you get a fresh perspective on it.
Once he gets to state prison, he's a target. There's a green light on him from all the gangs. All the people that love Nipsey Hussle. And so his life in prison is going to be hell for as long as it lasts. Once he gets to state prison, he's a target. There's a green light on him from all the gangs. All the people that love Nipsey Hussle. And so his life in prison is going to be hell for as long as it lasts.
That shit.
That's interesting right there, man.
I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, go ahead.
What's the difference between what that judge said in his position and that white man said to that brother? I see the same type of, like, black people just getting going in on. Why did he do that? Like, why did he do that? Why did he say those things? I mean, I've never heard a judge, and I faced judges. I got sentenced by a judge. I've never heard a judge speak like that. That's usually something that the family members say or some type of witness or something. The judge is forewarning a known gang member who's done time before, I assume, what his fate gonna be. Like he already knows. I believe he came to court one time with a black eye or something. So
but like you said, it's odd because, like you said, like you wouldn't expect it. It sounds like a, what I got from it is it's kind of like it's like a message to the jails or something. You know what I'm saying? Like when this nigga when he touched down, y'all make sure y'all get him. And I'm thinking like, why would the judge say that? Like, is he in his chambers listening to Nip? You know what I'm saying? Now,
but you know what?
Go ahead.
I think sometimes I think outside the box sometimes. I mean, because the dude was playing. I think he was trying to use the crazy role. That could come back to haunt the judge because I'm pretty sure. I mean, if I was him or if I was his attorney, I would immediately turn around and file that. Well, since no greater. If Eric Holder had said, let's say if Eric Holder had stood up and he said before the court what the judge said to him, the judge might not have granted him what he's requesting. But I think on his attorney's behalf, if he was to file to say that, Judge, you've even said it, so my client's in danger, so he needs to be moved to a special medical unit or a mental facility. That life in prison ain't gonna be that bad if he does that. So the judge might have messed up on that, or maybe that's the whole plan from the beginning anyway. Maybe that's the plan from the beginning anyway.
I don't know. I think that's an interesting way to look at it. That's an interesting way to look at it. And there's some fact in that, in just regards theoretically, it could happen. You know what I'm saying, in regards to his defense team. You got to put into consideration, he has a super high profile case. His case is so high profile that Christopher Darden came out of retirement to do that, and then even though he switched attorneys. And then the judge speaking on that. So it's like, dude is never going to be in any type of general population. He's going to be in like a special unit already. I doubt if the most problem he'll have is maybe him and his cellie might argue over checkers and chess, if he have a cellie. Right. Yeah. I just found it odd. I was like, wow, I've never heard a judge, and like, I've just never seen that. Period. I've never heard that coming from a judge. Most times when people judge, sometimes when you get sentenced, and I guess it's dependent on the case. Judges will say their piece. You know what I'm saying? I've heard that before, but it was kind of like the judge putting a death sentence on them. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I took it. Like, what the fuck?
And he's using street term, green light. It's a green light on you.
Right.
Right. So I'm looking like. They might have to check. The judge may have tattoos, might have had a blue rag underneath that robe.
I'm telling you, right? You know what I'm saying? He from the 60s. But that's crazy. That's crazy right there. Now, you got history. You're from LA. You spent a lot of time in California. How did you feel when you heard about Nipsey Hussle? Like, what was some of the first thoughts you had when you found out what happened to him? And then expound on it more once you seen the video. I'm sure you seen it, right?
Yeah, I was in Arkansas when I first heard that. I was in Hot Springs, Arkansas. One of my homeboys called me up. That was there. He had just left the shop. I think he said less than an hour. He had left. He had left, and then he got the call that Nipsey Hussle was shot. And he called me. He was like, "Man, they got Nip. They got Nip." And I was like, "For real?" He was like, "Yeah, they got." And then I remember, hearing about it, and then hitting the internet and everything, and then like, damn, that was messed up. And then seeing everything just go crazy, man. From all the posts, the conspiracy things, and then I watched people go from. I watch people go from him congratulating Nip to having a store in the hood and doing things for black people to see. That's why you don't know. That's why you don't go back. So I was like, this is corny now because you get people 1 minute you're flip flopping. That's all we do. We congratulate somebody for staying in the hood, and then when you get killed in the hood, see that's why you don't. It's like you can't flip flop on that. Like which one are you? You know what I mean? And the conspiracies. And I've seen some stuff that was kind of troubling. I ain't gonna lie. I seen one of the things that I seen that was real troubling was a paramedic worker. Maybe it was it only way this could have been possible if it wasn't him. Sometimes I know you can be involved in conspiracies that's where you just get mixed up. But there was footage of allegedly him on the gurney, and with the white sheet over him, and the medical person doing this. And from his gun injuries, it should have been blood. It should have been blood on that white sheet. I mean, a plain white sheet. You should have seen not a speck of nothing was on it. I thought that was kind of odd if he got shot in the head and he got shot more than once. Nip? Yeah. There's a medical worker that's pushing down on somebody that's underneath a white sheet, and when he raises his hands up and everything, no blood, no nothing. Sheet white as day. I remember looking at that thinking like, yeah, see, that's that stuff right there, man, where it's like it don't make sense right there.
I wasn't aware that he got shot in the head. I wasn't aware of that. I thought he caught some mostly torso shots, possibly some leg shots. I didn't know that.
Well, even in the torso.
Yeah, I see that. You know what I'm saying?
Like where's the blood? Yeah, like where's the blood? Yeah. Like on the sheet? There's a white sheet over a body. So if he got shot in the foot, he got shot in the foot. It's gonna be bleeding, but there was nothing on it. I thought that was odd right there. And then, even to this day, some people don't realize that it was multiple people shot there. One dude, I believe, is still in jail behind that. He had caught COVID. One dude was fresh out.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, that brother there. Matter of fact, I know somebody. This would be a preview, right? I know somebody that you can talk to, depending on his work schedule, that he can run down to you the insides of that whole thing right there, man. Because he definitely got the inside information. The brother Melvin Farmer. But that's the guy that the leader of the but not the leader, but he's OG of the A-Trade Gangsta Crips. But yeah, that the sheet thing that threw me off, and the footage of him leaving and coming back, and the discrepancy over if he was called a snitch or if he called Nipsey Hussle a snitch, and the other dudes not being armed. You know, that was kind of odd there for heavy gang activity and gang talk. And then when it went down, dude got on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember watching that video and I was just like, damn, like, you know, it's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate. And just based off of the rumors, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Even though I've heard interviews from, I think the guy named is Cowboy. He was on the scene. He was one of the Nip guys. I seen the interviews about the guy that I'm not going to say that's why he was up there, but the guy that just got out of jail, he right. said, man, come to the shop. I'll hook you up with some T-shirts and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I seen those interviews. And just based off of those particular interviews and just the overall story, I just always think in my head, I wish Nip wouldn't have never said nothing to this dude. You know what I'm saying? If what's being said is true, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Let's say the snitch story is true. You know what I'm saying? That Nip approached the dude because allegedly he was snitching. He just got out of jail, so they say, and that he was telling, and then Nip kind of, you know, told him like, all right, bro, you can't really, you know what I'm saying? This ain't the circle for you, or this ain't the area for you, or we know what you did, or da da da. If it went some way, shape, form, or fashion in that sense, if that's the truth, I would say like, man, bro, like, why'd you even talk to that dude? You know what I'm saying? Like, even if he was snitching, and he is part of the gang, and I get it, you know what I'm saying? Just where he was at in his life, to me, it just felt like it was a waste of energy just even to recognize it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I always first thought, just based off the stories.
Yeah, kind of like, why did the boss do all the things that the employees were supposed to have been doing? You know what I mean? That was the case right there. Because I thought the exact same thing. And but also, you know, keeping it in the court and keeping on code with the gang constitution. Mm-hmm. If you're called a snitch, you're supposed to handle your business on somebody.
That's true too. Yeah.
You know? Somebody call you a snitch and you say you're not a snitch, you're supposed to deal with that person no matter who they may be. That's something that you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to call somebody a snitch without no paperwork. And then even if you have paperwork, what is the snitch gonna say? Oh, you found me out. Let me go hide. It's like, of course he's gonna deny it or retaliate. So yeah, that whole thing was sketchy there with what went down in the talking and everything. It would be interesting to find out what exactly did happen, the conversation there, because obviously dude went back and got that gun, and there was some dialogue beforehand. So
Right. And I was in South Central, man, and I went by the shop. I was in Los Angeles, maybe like 3-4 days. Hanging out, beautiful weather. I'm on the beach. You know what I'm saying? I stayed at the Jamaica Bay Hotel right off the beach. I was considering moving there, and I just took a ride through South Central, and I visited the shop. At that particular time, they had it gated off, so you couldn't come up on the property. But I just stood out there, you know what I'm saying, and just observed it, and you wouldn't think based off the area that, you know what I'm saying, it was like a high crime area. Not trying to say like, it looked like some fancy schmancy or nothing like that. But maybe just the day I was there, it was just a normal day and it looked peaceful. Didn't look like it was no issues, but that's where Nip got killed at.
right.
And then we already, Ice Cube said it best, how to survive in South Central. So it's
good.
crazy. I'm telling you, it's crazy. That's crazy. Well, all right, man, we going to the next story.
He said,
hey, don't trust nobody.
Rule number one, don't trust nobody. Yeah.
I'm telling you, like, hey, I advise, and that's the thing, and I'm telling you, hey, before you go to South Central, make sure you listen to Cube, you know what I'm saying, because he laid it down back in the 90s about, you know what I'm saying, how to survive in South Central. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you. See, the rap music, it has its negatives, but sometimes it'll let you know some shit that, hey, you might want to watch out for this, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, it's crazy, man, but R.I.P. to the homie, man. R.I.P. to the homie, I remember, man, that fucking marathon, I don't know if you heard it, but that marathon is a classic.
No, it is a classic. Yeah. I had heard of him before that happened, but I can admit I wasn't a fan. I was a late comer on that because I kind of gave up on the gangster rap. It's kind of hard. In my case, man, never gang bang. None of that. I moved there when I was in 87, when I was 14 and a half, but I went to the pen for 18 years. So I kind of load like the other side. And a lot of gang members ain't even touched. Like some gang members say, "Well, I was smart enough to evade the pen." It's like you wouldn't. Far as anybody can tell you, you wasn't out in the streets. And you gotta hit that penitentiary. You gotta hit jail. You had to come that full circle in order to get that full experience. And I got that shit. And by that time, I had pretty much given up on gangster rap, wrote it off. Because it's different when you up in there, man. It's in my case, it's hard as hell to see a dude that's an active gang member, tattoos, he in jail for prison, and he telling you, hey, did you hear that new 50 Cent? He hard as a motherfucker. And it's like, you in here for killing somebody, and you telling me that some dude rapping is hard. Like, I don't get it, man. You should have stayed rapping. Why you couldn't do the dude kill? You know what I mean? But
right.
I was a Johnny Come Lately on his music, but definitely he definitely was somebody. He wasn't like the rest of them at that time, and it's a shame too, because it's a big distinction between how he rapped and his message to the people that was coming out around the same time he came out. It's almost like boy against man. You know what I mean? His lyrics was what he talked about. It was way more deeper than the mumble rap and the jumping around. Yeah, way deep.
Yeah, that marathon, man. I remember my brother called me. He put me up on. He's like, "You ain't up on that marathon?" And this was before. Was it before Nip got killed? This was before Nip got killed. I think this was before Nip got killed. That he put me up on the marathon, and I checked it out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But I always knew who Nip was. You know what I'm saying? But I can't sit here and say I was deep into the music, but I knew who he was. I knew he's an LA rapper. You know what I'm saying? I had seen him here and there. Maybe heard a couple singles or something, or some features or something. But he sent me a link to check it out, and I remember listening to it. I was like, okay, this tight, you know, so I'm gonna get back to it. And then I didn't get back to it till after he got killed. And then when I'm listening to it, I'm like, God damn, this nigga. I see the hype. You know what I'm saying? Not the hype, but I see the talent and why he was reaching those
Yeah,
areas
yeah,
of
yeah.
success. You know what I'm
He had
saying?
that wordplay, the music, everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was
I
dope.
gotta show you. I gotta show you some pictures. It should be on my Instagram. You probably gotta go way back. So
Mm-hmm.
you didn't see the Nipsey Hussle medallion that I made. I made two of them.
Nah, I ain't check him out. I ain't check him out. I gotta
So
check it
yeah,
out.
yeah. One got delivered to his brother, and the other one I sold to a lady in New York.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. So you
Yeah.
actually got one of your medallions to his brother.
Yeah, I didn't get no confirmation. It took years. It took years to get it there because it's one of the
Mm-hmm.
things as to where you don't know if somebody looking to get something for it, whatever. I made it just on GP. It's a nice one too, man. Best one I made.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's dope. That's dope. That's dope right there. All right, we gonna move right along. This is another video I don't think you've seen off grid, and this one is these young kids selling water
Oh yeah, yeah.
on the street. Have you seen it, or did you remember just tell
Nah,
me about it?
you told me about it.
Selling water and gets robbed. You know what I'm saying? Now we gonna watch it first, and then we'll chime in after the fact. It's crazy though, man. It's like if it got something to do with black folks on some craziness, you definitely gonna run into it on social media. It's crazy. All right, here we go.
Man, you fuck black niggas some hoes.
All of it, nigga. All of it, nigga. Crip, hand me up, nigga.
Yo, nigga, you a hoe, nigga.
Sound like that.
Yo,
Bitch ass nigga, you a pussy ass nigga, yeah, nigga. And this murder game tapping in, nigga. And tell twins
What's the
I
other
said,
part?
fuck
Sound like that.
bitch ass nigga.
Hey, lift your jacket up real quick.
You lift your shit up if I switch to you right
Hey,
now.
lift your jacket
I'm
up.
crib, nigga.
Hey, lift your jacket up, nigga.
Yo, lift that shit up, bitch ass nigga. Y'all niggas some broke ass
Sound like
niggas.
that.
I'ma kill you next
Oh,
time I
nigga.
see you.
Let me catch you no more. All that bumping on the ass. Hey, come here. Come here. Give me a cigarette. In the water. In the water. In the water. Give me the water.
Y'all niggas some hoes,
Come
nigga. Man, you fuck black niggas some hoes.
All of it, nigga. All of it.
Alright. It seems like it's I don't know what that first video was, but this is the second one where we talk about some LA stuff. So the dude say, well, not necessarily, because just because someone say on Crip don't mean they necessarily from LA. So let me retract that. But I mean, what's your thoughts, man? You got some seems to be some young black kids roll up on some younger black kids and then just jack them, rob them for their water, basically just making a demonstration.
This is why when somebody that my age hears me say that at least when I went to prison, it wasn't behind black on black. I have zero victims. I have zero black victims. I was taught that you don't rob nobody. You don't rob nor do nothing to anybody that's black and or poor. And people back, but still you should. And then I look at something like that, and I think like, well, I was raised right. You don't get no stripes from robbing poor black people. You shouldn't even have that desire. It's like that's something that shouldn't even register to you, but they took joy in that shit. Recording it, they took joy in it. I don't even that's that generation right there that a lot of older black men be like, if they was to ever just to catch one of them in the alley, not even doing nothing, and they just want to get rid of them. It's like the neighborhood would be better.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're like rabid cretins just running around, and they're just waiting for a time to do something. They're just waiting for a time to do, and that's somebody's son. That's some mother's son up in there. But it's like nobody will miss them. Something happening, nobody would miss them. Nobody.
Yeah. One of the guys said until Twin and them, I said F them and all that. And then with them when they saying on Crip, I'm assuming now, I'm speculating right now, is that they're probably in the opposition's neighborhood, or maybe somewhere in somewhat of a central location where they see two young boys who probably are from a set or neighborhood that they're feuding with, and you know, they shorties, so you know, maybe the extent of killing them probably wasn't a possibility. It could have been a possibility, but they chose not to do that, probably based off age. But it just shows you the feud, you know what I'm saying. And then he said he made mention to y'all be popping off on Instagram or on internet, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, and then what's crazy about that is that, you know, I've experienced this coming from the neighborhood I come from, you know what I'm saying, where it got to a point where you know, you had to move careful on the internet with who you was hanging with, taking pictures with, because people are on the internet searching for people. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're searching for your face. They're searching for your face on the internet. And you know, if they see you with that person, they run into you in the street. Like, you'll have a situation like this. You know what I'm saying? Where, right. But it wouldn't be a robbery. You know what I'm saying? It'd be something a little bit more deeper. But you know, it's just crazy, bro. I gotta plug my laptop up. Yeah, it's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? This whole internet thing, and it's just like the. Have you heard of what's the nigga name? The dude, he be on Vlad TV. Broski. Browski. He a blood from L.A.
What's
his name?
I don't remember that name, but
yeah. Yeah, but the reason I just made mention to it because it was like real popular some years ago, where this is kind of like when internet feuding like was really start, you know what I'm saying, becoming a thing. And his name is Broski, I think. You know what I'm saying? Bosky.
Oh, no, you mean Bosco.
Bosco, yeah. And he was feuding with the other guy. I can't remember. I know one of the dudes' name was Burgundy Red, but one of his guys ended up beating up Bosco. Did you see that video where he beat him up? Caught him in the streets, beat him up real bad, broke his arm.
I remember it was some type of beef. It was some type of beef. Yeah, he had a fight. Yeah, he had a fight with somebody. I remember it was on video, right?
Yeah, caught on video. They was in the yard scrapping. He ended up breaking his arm.
I remember. I don't remember that dude's name though. I remember that incident though.
Yeah. And you know, I'm just bringing it up just to lend itself to this video we just watched. Well, we just got like the neighborhood feuding. Now on top of the neighborhood feuding, we have the feud kind of taking place on the internet, and then till they see these people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got the situation with the young kid from Chicago. Man, I can't remember these guys' names. You know what I'm saying? I'm old school, so I don't be keeping up with the names. But neighborhood thing, boom, same video. He say pull up, they pull up, and they end up killing the dude. You know what I'm saying? So what does that say about like where we at? Like, what's going on, all grid? You know, we got young kids on the internet feuding, probably, you know what I'm saying? Some be having beef, some don't be having beef. You know what I'm saying? And then it turns into a potentiality where people are getting killed. Like, what does that say about our youth? You know what I'm saying? Like, where we going as a people? Are the OGs supposed to be checking this? You know what I'm saying? Are the youngsters just too out of control and we scared of them? What's going on?
I think before like jumping down, and I'm guilty of it. Before just jumping on the youngsters and saying these dumb niggas, you gotta look at it the era before then. They're in a social media era where it seems convenient. Like, I guess without social media, somebody you would have to go near an area or hear somebody being somewhere. You had to do more than just grab your phone to find out where somebody was. In this new era with the youngsters, they can grab their phones. Everybody wants to be seen. Everybody wants to be seen. I remember a time in like 87, 88, where if you was a gang member, you can tell from the looks, but it wasn't broadcasted like it is today. Today it's broadcast so much, and some people don't even look the part. And then when you introduce Bloods wearing blue and Crips wearing red, and then also individuals incorporating pink and purple and all the different You know,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people, I guess allegedly straight men wear one pink sock, one purple sock, and a funny looking shirt. So it's like today's times is just
Yeah.
Gumby. It's like Gumby wear. You just literally like Gumby. So they're in a whole new era where it's like anything goes, ain't no rules, everybody's a
Mm-hmm.
bastard. It's like just do whatever. And it's gonna be chaos because they took a note from the era before them. You know what I mean? And then the era before them took theirs before the other era. So it's like on that gang thing, it's always just handed down as a way. Eventually, it was gonna get to a point where the older dudes was gonna lose control because ain't like they was responsible OGs anyway. So it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna integrate down to just a 13, 14-year-old making the rules up for the gang. You know what I mean? And that's where we at now. That's why it ain't gonna stop, man. There's a video where somebody showed. I don't know where it's at in LA. It looked like downtown LA, but it's like the tents out there is. I mean, all you see is people out there, and they still think that somebody will walk that street and ask somebody where you from, like you own that street. It's pathetic, man. It's pathetic.
Mm-hmm.
You seeing gentrification, you seeing genocide take over, and ultimately, I believe that's what's going to clear up the gang problem: gentrification and or genocide. It's like everybody was singing gin and juice.
Mm-hmm.
Gentrification and genocide going to be the new gin and juice.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, man. I mean, outside of gang culture, what do you got to say about just the hate? Do you? I don't know. Maybe I be exaggerating. Maybe you know what I'm saying. Maybe I'm just looking at things from the wrong perspective. But from my perspective, it seems that black people cannot get along on no level. You know what I'm saying? Like, why all the disagreements? Why you know what I'm saying? Why is this always some type of contrast or no moving together? You know what I'm saying? It's
Learn
always
behavior.
learn
Learn
behavior.
behavior. Learn behavior. It has to be. I remember. Okay, I've never been around the streets of Atlanta, other than that Greyhound station. It's terrible over there. But far as like
That Magic
frolicking
City.
around, just to make yeah. But far as frolicking around the different areas, I've never been out there like that. But I remember a woman one time telling me that she's always known Atlanta to be bad. And I'm thinking like, no, a lot of this stuff just started. And I confirmed it with somebody that was from there. It was like none of our areas was always how they are now. It might have been small little skirmishes and different things, but at the rate now, it's like nah, and that's a learned thing. Then you have to look at the family structure. I mean, you old enough to
Mm-hmm.
remember when you heard the word family, your idea would be I would think at the least three people, but at the most, no, at the very least three people. Customary four people: mother, father, and two kids.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays you have somebody that family. It could be a mother and a son, or just a son or a daughter by themselves. Don't get along with the mother. So the family broke down, and we never looked at that as a serious situation. The only people that see that as a serious situation is people who've been removed from society and been away and then come back. People in the military, people in jail. I know when I left the streets in '92 and got back out in 2010, I noticed the big difference. One of the first signs that I seen, one of the first ever, and I left Centinela Prison that's down south. It's down south in California. I left Centinela Prison and they drove us to the nearest town and we boarded a Greyhound bus and I rode the Greyhound bus to North Hollywood. So I
Mm-hmm.
didn't get a chance to see society outside that bus until I stepped off the bus. So on the bus, the first thing I noticed was almost everybody was looking at something in their hand. Now you gotta remember now, I'm coming from a world of people talking
Right.
and conversing, looking around. The first thing I noticed released after 18 years was everybody had some type of tablet phone and they was on it. That's the first time I seen the iPad was in
Mm.
2010. Was July? It was July 28th, 2010. Is the first time I seen an iPad up in my hand. And I said, damn, everybody's on their thing. So you imagine me, I'm on the bus, I'm looking at the scenery, I'm taking everything in. I'm the only one, I don't even have a phone, so I'm taking it all in. But when I got off that bus, the Greyhound bus, and I was at the station, I was waiting for my ride, I said, well, let me walk to the store. The first sign I seen that blew me away was it was a sister pushing a baby carriage, and she had the booty shorts on, where the bottom of her cheeks was hanging all the way out. And the back of her looked like her daughter with her cheeks hanging out. And I was like, damn, like, that's crazy. That's the mama, that's the daughter out here like that too. I was like, woo wee. And then I went into a store and I grabbed a water bottle. And remember, I never held a big face to 2010. Never held a big face to 2010. I bought a water bottle and a pack of gum. When that dude told me damn near $4, I thought he was fucking with me. I thought he knew that I was in jail and he was playing with me. And he was dead serious. And I was like, ain't no way it worked. Man, I remember the bubble gum being like less than $1. And this motherfucker was like $3. And I'm thinking like, what the fuck? So it's like, I seen the breakdown of the family, even down to the kitchen tables. Have you noticed that when you go to people's houses, a lot of people don't have kitchen tables? Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Yeah, people don't eat together no more. None of that. I mean, I've seen it in a few places where there's no dinner table no more. It's like you eat in your room, I eat over here, we eat over here. They got kids eating on the floor. It's savage, man. Black folks denigrated down to a level as to where you can't really point the finger at the white man. Like he did that shit in the 70s. He did that shit in the 70s, maybe the 80s and shit. The 90s come in. Shit, remember by that time we was gangster rap was in full-fledged swing.
Yeah, man, and that's what's crazy. I mean, like even so far as the dinner table thing, you know, I remember being young and I've had my experiences with it. I had to go to my grandmother's house to experience it, but you know, we all, when it was dinner time, I cut the TV off, come to the back, we sit at the table, you know, the plates to be made, food to be made, you know, bless the food, you know what I'm saying? Her husband, you know what I'm saying? God bless the dead. Jerry, he would you know, sit at the head of the table, and you know, we'd sit there by our heads and we'd eat our meal, you know what I'm saying? And he would wash the dishes. She made the meal. He would wash the dishes. So no, I got to experience that from being over my grandparents' house. But yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. The family structure let's talk about some of the causes of it though. You know, can we blame, I know you said, you know, we blame the white person, but you know, if we were to go back in time and like really follow the trail, you know what I'm saying, of how this happened, you know, wouldn't you feel that the struggles that we've been through do contribute and have contributed to the particular circumstance that black people are mentally, in a sense?
You say the circumstance we went through, you mean went through like
I mean,
voluntarily or
voluntary or involuntary? Like, you know, is it like, you know, when I say what I say, I'm thinking more so like, okay, civil rights, Black Panther Party, and then crack epidemic, you know, different systemic racism, you know what I'm saying, that could have hindered us, you know, Planned Parenthood, you know what I'm saying, like anything that you could think of that would hinder the progression of black people, where we find ourselves in this current situation where I think there's a lot more black people in worse positions than better positions, if I'm accurate, you know what I'm saying. You let me know from your perspective.
I mean, I think it's a natural thing. I like to, okay, I'll go back in my mind to when I was naive of systemic racism and blaming the white man, all that. I can think back to, I'll pick the year 1987.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I believe I was 14, moving to California, from New Jersey. So if I think back in the naive mind, being 14 and a half, I'm going to turn 15, single mother raised, but right raised. I had old school mother. I experienced the same thing that you did with the grandmothers. You know, we used to go to my grandmother's house for Thanksgiving for the big meals. I remember the adult table, the kid table, like the whole OG structure. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. No kid acting up, because number one, you don't want you get beat on, and then second of all, you feel dumb acting up at grandma's house like that. Like nobody does that.
Right.
So I look at the times back then. It wasn't super turned up. I would like to think that at that my knowledge of racism and everything was just regulated to just small kid-like instances of knowing the word, in the N-word, if a white man call you the N-word or something like that. Not really understanding the system. So I think even if we had to stay, if black people had to stay in that mindset, because we wasn't as bad as we is. A lot of people think we was always bad even back then. It's like we wasn't. That's what's crazy about today's times. The younger generation now, they think it always been like this. It ain't always been this level of nigga shit. There was nigga shit in the 70s, 80s, but not to the level you see it is now. I seen a video today where a woman got her son on there, and she's saying, if your daddy ain't shit, clap your hands. And a little kid right there in front of her. And it's like, you would have never even thought of something like that. Yeah. I try to, if it pop up, I'll get it. But sometimes I have to just go past that because I find myself being the one to saying the shit on Instagram, and then you get I get instant notification. If I use certain words on there, I get the instant notification as to where your comment has been, you can lose your account. And I instantaneously get that shit. And I find myself as a weird feeling like I have to say something, but you ain't gonna win that war. But the younger generation, they seem to think that it always been this level, and it ain't been. I don't care how horrible your parents was smoke, because some people come from the crack parents, so they crack babies and all that. Crack baby got to realize that was your situation and your parents. Everybody don't know about the crack baby shit. Everybody don't sympathize with you. Everybody didn't live like that. Everybody didn't grow up. Mama refrigerator emptied, all that. I ain't grew up like that shit. And we was nowhere near rich, but I do not remember no empty refrigerators. I don't remember no motherfucking finding roaches in the cereal box. I don't remember none of that shit right there. And it didn't happen. It didn't happen with us. Like I said, we wasn't rich, but crack wasn't a thing in my family. My mother moved us away from Jersey because of the crack epidemic coming up, and she moved probably to the wrong spot, because she took me from the frying pan and threw me to the California wildfire. Because it only took me 5 years to go to the pen. It took me 5 years to be there and go to the pen for 18, which is crazy. But like I said, when I think back, I think of just regular times, and even if we had to just stay that course, it was still men in the home at that time. I remember that. I remember my neighbors. I can think back to all that shit. It slowly transitioned over to the single mothers, and I guess the dudes getting locked up and all that. I think the first thing that I can point at that I noticed where it's like, damn, this was the game changer, was the 3 strikes law. To me, that was the one of my era. That was like the what's that thing called with the COINTELPRO. To me,
right,
in my era, was the COINTELPRO of that era right there, because 3 strikes wiped out so many men off the streets. People don't even realize that, and it set precedents for other states. Even Chicago, every state got different laws after that right there. California kicked that 3 strike shit off, and other states followed, whether if it was called a different term or you got a specific number, whatever. But California definitely wasn't playing. I hear that Texas always been tough on the laws out there. I know that 3 strikes was a special law because how it was enacted. I mean, something that you did in the 80s, they can use that. They can send you to jail for 25 to life. I personally know a dude that's locked up for cashing a bogus $180 check. He got life in prison right now. So.
Oh wow.
To me, it was a 3 strikes law. It took so many brothers off the streets. When you take men out the home, you know what happens with that. There's a lot of sisters that don't like to hit it. They figure like they did the best they could. But you can only do but so much. You can only do but so much without a man. There's ideas that women are going to have that's going to be different. Even something simple as a single mother doing her best, and she's the only one there, and you taking your kid food shopping. Even something simple as how you hold that little basket, your son is gonna mimic that. Have you ever seen young boys in there trying to hold the basket and they got it in the web of their elbow like a little broad? They don't carry it, like a man in their hand. They got it hooked up here like a purse.
Yeah. That's what you're saying. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, and a lot of women, they won't catch on to that. They don't catch on to in their mind, I ain't paying for no babysitter. I'm gonna take my son to the hairstylist with me, and I'm gonna have him around these gay men, these loud cackling black women hollering niggas ain't shit. That has an effect on young black boys and girls, but it really destroys the boys because they get used to seeing a feminized man acting like a woman, so they confused by that. The loud clackling women up in there talking about nothing, and it's fuck, man. Them kids grow fucked up, man. They grow up fucked up. I'm glad I didn't grow up fucked up like that. I did end up in the pen for 18 years, but I did my shit behind crime and my lust for money. These kids here, they ain't got a chance. They crack baby out the womb, and then your mama put you through that. I mean, you almost can't blame them, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was raised by a single mother, just me and my older brother, and yeah, one of the things that happened with my particular situation is that I had a lot of older male cousins. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of time growing up, and then they lived right behind us. You know what I'm saying? Just coincidentally,
Your screen froze.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you, but the footage, your screen, it's froze.
Okay, it might just be on your end because I'm looking at. Well, it might. I don't know. If you can hear me, then it's all good. Hopefully,
I can
jump
hear you.
back in. Yeah. Just how things turned out. My mother and father, they lived on the same block. So I grew up. My father was there. At that when I came when I was younger, he was there, but they didn't live together. My older brother got to experience some time with him actually being in the house, but even when they weren't together, he lived right behind me. So I got to see him as a youngster and grew up with him partially. When we moved from that particular neighborhood, then that's when I saw him a little less. But even with that, I still had like 7. I think the number maybe 5 or 6 older cousins, male cousins. That's they're closer mid 40s, late 40s. You know what I'm saying? So always playing with them. It just wasn't this this always around woman type thing. You know what I'm saying? Which I know helped shape me to be a little bit more well rounded. So and right now with the youth, and I'm not generalizing it, all across the board because everybody's situation is a little different, but it seems that would you agree or disagree that younger black males are more emotional than probably black males that came up in your era?
Man, definitely. And I say that from looking at examples of myself and things that I've seen. I remember the first time I noticed the difference between being raised by a single mother and being raised by both parents in the home. There was a situation one time where me and my sister had got into it. I think I was 18. She might have been 21. And my sister and my mother was coming home from doing some girly thing, either getting their nails done. They was doing something. And me and my sister got into it. And my mother took my sister's side on something that she should have sided with me. Without getting to a long story, because someone said, well, how you know? The thing was that I had some speakers in the house that belonged to Sermon Vegas speakers. Everybody that know DJs, I know you know about Sermon Vegas, huh?
No, I haven't heard about Sermon Vegas speakers.
It's a brand of speakers, expensive and real good, but they were mine. Nonetheless, they were mine. And when I came home, I noticed that one of them was missing. And because I cut the system on, when I seen the speaker was missing, I thought we had got robbed. So I'm like, wait a minute, the system is still here. It's just one missing. I'm like, who steals one speaker? So lo and behold, my sister pulls up, and I hear her car beating. She had a Ford Escort. She beating now. She got the beat in it. She got my speaker in her car. That's my
Right.
shit. So,
Okay.
so I go down in the garage and they, she backing in, and my mother get out the passenger seat, and my sister opened her door. They both looking at me like what the hell wrong with him? So soon as my sister got out the car, I eased her to the side and I pop her seat and I go to reach in the back to take my speaker out the back because that's my shit. You don't have my shit beating in the back of your car. You ain't asked me none of that shit.
Right.
So she got to hit me on my back like that. What you doing? And I remember my mother coming around the side of the car, grabbing me by the collar and doing the whole "what you in this world, I take you out." And I remember grabbing my mother's wrist and like pulling it down, like come on now, you all the way. I knew she was in the wrong. Pulled her hand down. She didn't stretch my whole shirt out. Looked like I got an inner tube around my neck. The neckline hanging way down to my belly button. I'm mad. There's no cuss words enough. Cause remember, I was raised old school. I got an old school mother. We just being born into the new age with this nigga shit now. And I didn't see nothing wrong with pulling my mother's, holding her wrist and trying to get it down because I'm 18 at the time. It's like we're not gonna go through this right here. We're not going through that. Kicked me out and everything. And I remember being upset because she not understanding my position. So that was the first sign that I seen as to where she's not taking into consideration my feelings. Then with me being in prison, I remember when the new breed of youngsters was coming in, that where it was like these dudes have no memory, no recollection of any man being in the home, just always mama. So when they come up in there, that's their first time hearing a grown man tell them what to do. They wasn't having it. They wasn't having it. They was like, I ain't gotta listen to you. I don't know you. They wasn't having it, and they wasn't having it to their detriment because they was in there getting stabbed up and beat up and knocked out. So I got a
Wow.
chance to see that, and then getting back out, seeing like the end game of it, where I heard rap songs where dudes are saying
Yeah, you breaking up a little bit. You get a little connection problems. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know if you can hear me off grid, but you like totally freezing up and it's buffering. But oh yeah, he dropped out. That's crazy that he said that though because um it was another video that I seen. I think it was with the kid in school, and the black teacher, male teacher, was telling him to sit down, and he wouldn't sit down. He wouldn't listen to him. Real young kid, real emotional. And I remember one of my friends looking at the post, and he said he probably ain't never had a male figure, in his life, to the extent to where he's telling him what to do, And I seen something somewhere where it's like, or I heard something somewhere to where it's like you'll have a situation where the a black youth would listen to would listen more or show more respect for a black woman telling him what to do than a black man telling him what to do because he's not used to any type of male figures in their life telling them what to do. So it coming from a woman, that's what they're used to. You know what I'm saying? But if a older man tried to tell them, black male tried to tell them, they would disregard it because they have no experience in it. You know what I'm saying? So there's no respect there. You know what I'm saying? They've never had a black man in the household to tell them what to do. So it's just crazy that he mentioned that. It's crazy. But I don't know, man. I was gonna play. He hopping back on.
it cut off for a minute.
Yeah, you back. Yeah, you can wrap up on
Back
the
in.
thought with the. Yeah, you can wrap up on it on the.
But yeah. Just see once I got out and I'm seeing how like the family structure was all the way dead. I mean, the dudes who have no recollection of a father being in the home, strictly the mama, hear it in rap songs where dudes is like, I didn't fuck with my daddy and love my mama. And that's a natural thing if you didn't grow up with your father to love your mother, I guess more, but a lot of them boys, they never knew what actually happened. If mama, never told them what happened. And a lot of young boys, they don't have the mental capacity to think of a time when their mother was their age. A lot of dudes. I mean, you're supposed to look at your mother as loving and everything, but a lot of dudes don't know where their mother come from, especially if they come from, a baby that was addicted on drugs or the new age mom. I hate to throw all the moms in that category of the new age, but everyone knows that there's a lot of newer mothers who got sons that's like 20 years old right now and 15 and 13. A lot of them mothers come from some cold circumstances where, they might not even know who the child's father was,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, everything is, everything can be generalized. Some things can be generalized. You know what I'm saying? This doesn't apply to all black women. It doesn't apply to all black mothers. You know what I'm saying? We're just having a conversation about, different circumstances that occur within the black community. You know what I'm saying? For lack of a better word, that it's a possibility. I mean, look what we looking at. You know what I'm saying? We got mothers. We have mothers who have children that's out here pulling drills. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it the mother fault 100%? No. Is it the father's fault? Is he active in the child's life to get at that strong, stern male figure dominance? You know what I'm saying? They got to, the black male has to be responsible for that too. I got a partner who, and this is, just, going in on it, to expound. I got a male figure, a friend who, he take care of all his kids. Like, he has all of them, and, unfortunately, his child's mothers, both of them had passed away. And, but he was always active in their lives, And, it's just crazy how you had these certain different situations with single black mothers or single black fathers, and it's just always some type of handicap. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just some, in some shape, form, or fashion, it's gonna be some type of handicap that increases the probability of the child, running into some type of pitfalls. You know what I'm saying? And then that's another thing. Let's say you did grow with your mother and your father. They were both active in your life. It definitely gives you a strong foundation. But even with just how to depending on the neighborhood you grew up in, depending on your situation, you still can run into some pitfalls. You know what I'm saying? It's just
right. Yeah. And I want to also say that because I know sometimes hearing stuff like that, sometimes hearing reality or somebody's perspective on their situation that they experience, it could be hard to take and this and that. I want to state for the record that, like I say, I had an old school mother. So if I talk kind of harshly on the single mothers, I'm talking about ones who were in the opposite situation of how I grew up. I have much respect for the single mothers who did it the right way, and I come from one of them. I never heard my mother denigrate my father, try to emasculate my father. They were divorced. I never heard her, talk ill about him. I never heard him say anything negative about her. I didn't grow up in a household where my mother talked negative about men in general. I never, my aunties, I've never heard. I totally didn't have that experience. I never heard a black woman older talk about men negatively. Period. Never in my life until I got out in 2010.
Yeah.
And while in there, I got family visits from my mother came to visit me on family visits. You know what I mean? I had a good mother. She came to see me. My mother spent the night at the prison. You can get conjugal visits even with your family. My sister, my mother, and my niece came to come see me. So it's like I don't have nothing negative to say about women that's on that level. And I feel bad for the ones that don't, wasn't raised like that because they actually missed out. I mean, if the father wasn't there, the mother raised you the best she could, or she thought she could, then that's your lot in life. But they got to understand though that there were circumstances there. I would urge any young dude, especially if they don't know their father, to hear their mother's side. But if they can, man, seek out to find your father, to find out what his side was, because you could be surprised. Don't let it change how you treat and love your mother, because she did ultimately take care of you. But two sides to every story, man. There's circumstances. If they see the assault on the black man today with the agenda, then just imagine what your mother was telling you about him. That was her agenda. You know what I mean? So take time to investigate and find out what actually happened.
Hey, Man, beautifully said. Beautifully said. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, beautifully said. Like, I don't know. I think that's probably a good one to end it on. But oh no, we can't end it. We can't end it on that one because in the title I got the Nashville shooting. Did you hear about this Nashville shooting?
Somebody, real quick earlier today, somebody said something about a private school or a Catholic school, a Christian school or something.
Yeah. I breezed through it, but I do got a little something on it. So we gonna wrap up on this story and you know what I'm saying, just check it out. I just got a Instagram post because I wasn't able to get the full thing, but I think it does have some details in it with the Instagram post.
It's been a while since it's been a school.
Not really. well, yeah, I think so. It has been a minute. I was thinking about something that happened, and but that was with a kid taking a gun to school. That was something different. That wasn't a shooting. That was just a boy took a gun to school. So, 7 people confirmed dead in Nashville shooting, including 3 children, 3 adults, and the suspect was arrested. What's it say? New developments have been made in the horrendous shooting at the Nashville Covenant School on Monday, with authorities having identified the shooter as I didn't know that, transgender woman Audrey Hall. The 28-year-old, who goes by he/him pronoun, is furthermore said to have once attended the Christian educational institution and was a local resident in Nashville. Wow. Following the NBC News, following the shootout between cops and Hale, which subsequently ended with the shooter's life. They killed him. Law enforcement officials found his car located close to the school, giving them more information about Hale's identity. Metro Nashville Chief of Police John Drake said in a statement that despite the details they have obtained so far, the investigation is still ongoing. He said Hale's online social media profile showed that they only use he/him pronouns, worked as a commercial illustrator, and studied at the Nipsey College of Art.
So transgender person did it?
Yeah, I'm trying to see, let me go back to this other picture right quick. So, is this a transgender female wanting to be a guy?
Once I hear like the trans thing, I don't even try to figure out if it's a man trying to be a him or trying to be a man. The trans part just let me know weirdo. I mean, I just, you know what I'm saying? Because it's too much to try to keep up. For real, this thing. You looking at a picture of a woman, and then you like, oh, it's not a woman, it's a man. You're like, oh, okay. And then you see a picture of a man, and then, but it's what? So it's like, once you hear trans, that code word, weirdo, okay, so this person, this thing, okay. You know, that may sound mean, but the average person ain't got time to be, I don't have time to be looking at a $5 bill and then get told, oh, if you flip it over, it's really a $1. I ain't got time for that right there. I ain't got time for that, man.
It's a $5 bill that what's the word? Identifies as a $1 bill.
The $1 bill, yeah, I ain't got time for that shit.
Hey, I seen a post. It was like a comic book post. So it got 2 women in the shower. It got a skinny woman in the shower, and it got a larger woman.
Yeah, I seen that.
And then the guy comes in, and they look startled, and then the guy just says, "Don't get scared. I'm a woman." And it's a dude. He got hair on his back. It's like it's crazy because as a society, and you know, we can take this, you know, it's always been gay people, you know what I'm saying? So far as the origins of gay people, you know, it's debatable, you know what I'm saying, what culture that comes from, you know what I'm saying? If people do their research, it's not a hard thing to find out. But it's just crazy how, like, you can identify as what you want to identify now, and then the law is on your side. You know what I'm saying? Except for probably being a black heterosexual man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, you gonna get persecuted in every shape, form, or fashion if you're that. You know what I'm saying? But
ex-con can go to prison, do 20 years come out. He still got to stay. He still has to suffer for that red mark on his back saying he's ex-convict. You got to put it down on his job resume. Not to be trusted. He can't re-identify himself now. He can't. That's crazy right there. Somebody can just skip genders, and you should respect that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know this Nashville thing was a shooting is a shooting. Them being them being whatever they identified isn't the issue with this particular situation. It's but
Did they kill themselves? Did it say they killed themselves?
They got into a shootout with the police. Based off this, it says following the shootout between cops and Hale, which subsequently ended in the shooter's life. So, with that being said, off this particular article, which the source is Hollywood Unlocked, that sounds like he shot it out with the police and
he died.
Killed. Yeah, was killed. Yeah.
Okay, well, he's still right. Still right up. That was a hate crime. That trans person committed a hate crime against people that wasn't trans, and they need to probably need to even profile. Well, he's gone now, but wait, it was a man trying to say he was a woman. Was it one of those, or was it the woman doing the man thing? Which one?
So let me bring the screen back so you can view the picture. So you see that picture, right?
Yeah.
That looks as if that's a female trying to be a guy, right? Like on some, yeah.
Female trying to be, yeah.
Right. It's like, yeah.
Man. They might need to see if she has any siblings. They might need to do the search. You know how they do the thing. They say. They research black genes. They say this person will be a criminal to grow up. They might need to check that girl's siblings and find out because they may have some of that up in them too.
Oh yeah, you think that's a thing right there?
If she grew up and did that, I would say that if she got a brother or sister, they might need to be checked out to make sure that they don't have that in them too to be killing people.
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay, when you said it like that, okay, I see what you're saying now. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I mean, she grew up like that. It might be something in that family. Check them out.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, man. Another school shooting. It seems to be a recurring thing in America. I don't really recall hearing about like school shootings like this outside of America. Like, I don't know what's going on. Is it the guns? Is it the Second Amendment? Is it what's wrong with America? Why America? Because you don't hear about this level of violence in any country. You can talk about Canada. Every place has its violence. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you can kind of put American violence with like shit that's in those places in Africa when they running around with the AKs and stuff. Those like maybe some places in the Congo or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is going on in America to where we having these random shootings? We got gang violence. We got police killing people. You know what I'm saying? We got every type of dispute you could think of. Like, what's going on? Like, what is the country? What's going on with America? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up with the country?
Look at what they promote. Look at what they promote. They look at the movies, the Bruce Willis's, the Commando. You know what I mean? Shoot 'em up, bang bang, Rambo. You know what I mean? Hard to Kill. So it's the movie. Motherfuckers slamming popcorn down their throat, watching motherfuckers kill multiple people.
My bad, because you just named some classic movies, right? You said Commando, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, we
grew up off this
classic,
shit.
But if you look at it, that's what we see. The kill, the shoot up and all that stuff. Then it's in the music. Then you get the retarded food that people eating. It's like this, man, it's almost like what you expect to happen in a land where that happens. It's celebrated. Violence is celebrated in theaters, in music, in art, everyday life. Everything. If somebody's coming through your window and you grab your gun, they go run. The deal is that I blow his head off. This motherfucker already running. You inside.
Mm,
Blow his head off on it while he on his way out. You know what I'm saying? Blow his head. It's like, so
mm,
that's what we condone over here. Violence, kill. You know what I'm saying? Step on my shoes, kill you. It's like, so I don't know. I think we shouldn't be surprised when you hear this stuff. It's like this is what goes
mm,
on. A violent country. It was founded on violence. It remains violent.
mm.
They export violence. It's like it's all violent.
Damn. Yeah, man, I can't wait till my passport come.
I was gonna ask you that the other day too, man. If they
I'm still waiting
what
on
they
it,
was
man.
doing with that.
I'm still waiting on it, man. I ain't,
At least you
hopefully it
gotta
go
be. At least you
through.
ain't like the rest, though. You gotta look at it. At least you ain't like the rest. Saying, man, I gotta sign up for it. At least right now you want the end part of waiting on it. It is some
Mm-hmm.
trauma going on over there right now in Kenya, though. There's been some protests. I haven't put my hand on exactly what's going on, but it's
Mm-hmm.
it's taking place now. I found some Kenya money that I have now. I was told that shit worth
Mm.
2 cents now. So
Oh, okay.
I got
Okay.
I got to
Okay.
check up on that, man.
Right. Well, there you have it, man. HG is to the street media, off grid on code. We've been consistently bringing y'all, news, media, conversation, in depth perspectives, on different situations. Please hit the like button. Please hit the share button. Please subscribe. Don't be afraid to hit our cash apps and support the platform, support the move. Anything you want to leave in closing off grid before we wrap up?
Yeah, when people hit the Cash App, you actually supporting independent media. We're not biased on anything other than being on code and something that's progressive to Black people, and there's different perspectives on that. But we coming from that angle, bringing you news because if you look at it, there's a plenty of news networks and everything. But if y'all notice, a lot of people they'll hit a topic and unless it's nationally known, they'll revisit it. But there's a lot of cases that we're still on. We're just waiting for the new update on it. We're going to be updating you on the couple up there in Colorado. They had a court date in February on the 14th and the 16th. The judge postponed both of their hearings for what reason I don't know. We're going to stay updated on the that
Lakes of
land thing.
Somerville.
I can never because I haven't fully
Mm-hmm.
locked in on that name because to me it's like it's no need to. I know the people, so it's like so.
Right,
But we're gonna
exactly.
do an update on that. It should be something come up in that soon because from what we've been hearing, what I personally heard, there's a payment of 400 something $1,000 that's going to be due, and I think I think in 2 months there's a 400,000 something payment that's due that I don't think the people are going to be able to be able to pay up. So I don't know if that's the other side. If that's going to be their money gone, and you know
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
just a few other things. So we're keeping you updated on that because these are stories that people we need to know about. We need to get to the end and find out whatever happened. We need to stop just hearing a topic and then oh yeah, and then move on to the next one. You're always going to be bombarded with new information and new school shootings and land schemes
Mm-hmm.
and everything. But let's stay on it so we can in the end we can say this is what happened with that. So maybe the people that catch on kind of slow, there won't be any more excuses. You can use cases that we've looked at from A to Z, and you can say, okay, this is what happened in that. I see the same similar things, the same similar jargon, and the same lingo is going on over here. Let's watch on that. As I spoke before on one of the last ones that we did, one of the last streams we did, I spoke on the 19 families that had the 100 acres. Now they have 500 acres, and I said, watch that story because they're using some of the same jargon as all the other ones. And coming from somebody who's done the off grid thing, that's where I'm currently coming to you from.
Mm-hmm.
It don't take all that. I can tell you, I don't. The best one of the best litmus tests to use is if there is a camp where 3 men got it to where it's self sufficient to a degree. And I say it to the degree because we will run out of food. But for our solar panels, and we have our water, we collect rainwater, we have a small garden. There's nowhere in the world that 3 dudes can do that in less than 3 years. And you got these people with 19 people and 30 people over here and all that, and they ain't got shit. They ain't got shit. So it's like that should tell y'all there's something going on. It don't have to be all kind of glitz and glamour and all that, and people in hard hats and holding shovels, brand new shovels with no dirt on it. You know what I mean? We got to get up out of that fantasy, romantic. We got to stop romanticizing being on code and going off grid and doing these different things. Do the romanticizing after you've done it. You know what I mean? After you completed your first year of doing something, really doing something, then go ahead and go off the deep end and thank the ancestors and all this and that. You got to stop jumping out there and burning sage and eating sea moss and offering, stuff to the ancestors, and nobody's done any hard work. Nobody got dirt underneath their nails. People got brand new boots on, ain't even no dust on the boots. You know what I mean? So it's like, stop buying into that. And when you guys contribute to the Cash Apps, it takes care of background checks. A lot of this stuff ain't easy. It ain't some brothers sit up on here and just yapping what they don't know about. You gotta do some research. There's days when we spent on that Mallory case, Nicole and Courtney Mallory. That's the couple up there in Colorado. There was days spent on that, y'all. There's days spent outside of working and doing everything we need to do. Where else are you gonna find the time? You know what I mean? You find the time to work and do what you need to do, and you easily just click on the link and you watch this right here. You didn't have to do any preparedness to watch it. We had to prepare and make sure we got facts in order to bring this to you. So that should be respected. And the more help and assistance we get with that, we can do more. Imagine if we were mobile. You know what I mean? So take that in consideration, and also take in consideration that you're part of a network that can also offer you, showing you how it is to be off grid and building and all that right there. You know what I mean? So this is a serious media. This is a serious media right here. And when we're doing the best we can with what we got.
Exactly. Beautifully said. So make sure y'all support. It's only gonna get bigger. It's only gonna get better. The information is gonna keep coming. We doing our due diligence, making sure we thoroughly look at these situations, objectively, unbiasedly, and we just gonna keep bringing it to y'all. So make sure y'all support the platform. Make sure y'all support being off grid, and man, beautiful broadcast tonight. And we signing off from Ears to the Street with Fact and Entertainment Meet. Make sure y'all hit that like button, that subscribe button, and share the content. And we out.
Peace.
Peace.